Hey, welcome to From the Top, a show where I talk to friends and musicians about how they got started and how they got to where they are now. My guest today is my friend Damon Tupper. Damon's a drummer who's played with a ton of different acts in a ton of different genres and in as many scenarios as you can come up with. It pains me to say this, but he's a good guy. He's a good friend. Occasionally, he's a good hang, and I did enjoy talking with him. So here's my conversation with my friend Damon Tupper. Hey, welcome to From the Top. I'm your host, Matthew Facca, here with my friend Damon Tupper.
Hello.
Damon, thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
Cool. Damon and I have played in bands for a number of years. I was actually trying to think. I don't really remember the Damon, Matt Damon thing.
Was, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
That was whatever it was called. I can't remember what the band was called at the time, but it was you and Strawson and Rob.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, right.
We did
Played
that.
in Regina.
Yeah.
Is that the one where I hurt my knee?
That's the one.
Yeah, nice. Good.
That was I want to say 2013, 12, yeah, something like that.
I was playing bass on the dance floor with not very many people.
No.
And was fallen on by the security guard. So.
Yeah, so he was doing his job, keeping everyone safe, except the band.
Yeah, keeping almost everyone safe. That's right. Cool. So the 10,000-foot view, where are you from? What do you do? What's the...
Well, I'm born and raised here in Saskatoon. I've lived a couple other places, but most of my life here. So, yeah, I work now in the mining sector now for the last 20 years or so.
Is that just like digging holes in your backyard, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I like to think it's mining, but it's mostly just excavating, perhaps.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, good. Yeah. Cool. So you, of all the people I know, have probably played with the most different acts, like the widest variety of acts, like number of bands.
Yeah, it's been a pretty broad spectrum.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I started off playing rock, hair stuff, because I'm of an age that was a thing.
32?
Yes, 32. Correct. And honestly, I played rock most of my life up until more recently, where it's kind of switched more to country.
We live in a place where that's kind of the necessity.
It's sort of a necessity. And I played some big band stuff more years ago, and recently was able to do a gig at the basement with my kids, right, which was a little bit of a grab bag of stuff as well. So yeah, and I've done a lot of fill-in gigs and stuff with a lot of different people as well. So I mean, I have a fairly large catalog to pick from. So
if you need a drummer for hire and don't mind the attitude.
Did that make it look any better? No?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah. That's probably what's going to get you the gig, I think. Yeah. Yep. Who, what, when got you into music?
Well, my dad is a drummer, and that was my first kind of experience with music of any kind. And sure. I don't really remember a lot of, when I was little, I used to sit on his lap, apparently, when they were rehearsing downstairs and whatever. But
cool.
So my parents split when I was really little, so I didn't hang out with him a ton, but I went and every time I saw him play and things like that, it really stuck with me. So cool. It was, that was definitely sort of the impetus behind it. And then my mom tried her best to keep me from doing it, but the number of wooden spoons that were shattered in the attempt, she just finally succumbed and said, whatever.
Guess we're getting a kit.
Yeah.
Cool. During the growing up teenage years, was there a group of friends that would introduce you to new music or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of all listen to the same stuff, and that's where the hair metal sort of stuff came in, because that was my teen years, was
the thing.
The early to mid 80s was kind of when I came of age, if you will. So we all kind of gravitated towards the same music, and there's a group of guys. I think there's a picture. One of the pictures I sent you was the first band that I played with. We were called Young Offenders.
Perfect.
And it was all Skid Row and Crew and, shit like that.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Yeah.
Teenage dude rock stuff.
Yep, 100%. Cool. 100%.
Dig it. I assume your dad was one of those early mentors.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we didn't really, ever really sit down and do a
Here's how you hold a
lessony
stick,
sort of
here's
stuff.
a-
Yeah,
yeah.
no, definitely was like inspiration for me to do it. He was pretty much a local legend here. Like it was a pretty broad shadow that he cast. So that was, it had its ups and its downs, but it was, he got to tour Canada with Roy Orbison. He got to, play with
I
him.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, like opening, like the band he was with, Witness, at the time, they did a cross Canada tour with Orbison, like in '67 or '8 or something, and just played with a lot of really pretty renowned people throughout his life as well. So
Yeah. Cool. Did you ever do any official drum lessons or anything like that?
I never did,
No.
honestly. I kind of just
Played
did
shows
whatever.
and-
Played, and when I got to high school, I went into school band. They had a beginner band in high school, so I started there, and then rapidly progressed up the ranks to senior band. But at least it taught me to read, and it taught me some rudiments and things like that.
Sure.
So some of the technical stuff, but I've never had an actual lesson.
Yeah.
Probably should have or could have many times, but
I think
whatever. It is what it is now,
yeah.
right?
You've played enough shows that you're not missing out too much.
It kind of is. Like I said, I know what I know and play what I play, and that's kind of what it is now.
Cool. In terms of gear, do you remember what the first drum kit was?
I don't remember.
What you played on, or
I don't remember what the brand was because it was like a satin flame, like a red satin flame kit, just a 4-piece, like kick, one tom up, one tom down, and I had that for I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years, and then I upgraded sort of. I found there's an old Slingerland kit that was for sale. A woman was selling, older lady had, and so I got that.
Cool.
And had that for a while. And then when I think I was 17 or 18, my mom got me a Pearl kit, and that was the one I used for quite a while.
Ever? Yeah. Cool.
Till around, that was probably whatever year that would have been, 91 until probably 2000 is when the next time I got any. So
cool.
Yeah.
And now you have a number of them.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem now. Yeah.
See, I collect guitar pedals like a crazy person. He does it with drum kits.
I do. And it's drums take up a bit more room than guitar pedals.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. I should have taken a picture of my basement, but
yeah. That'll get you on a list.
Part of the basement.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. Again, gigs, you've played more than most people I know.
I have played a number of gigs, yes. Yeah, I've been very fortunate. And honestly, always had really talented people around me. Yeah, which I have been really lucky that way.
Definitely makes life easier,
present company excluded, but I mean, most everybody has been
exceptional. Yeah.
No,
acceptable. Sorry.
Yeah,
acceptable.
Sorry. Yeah. So close.
Yeah, but it's so close, but so far.
Yes.
Cool. Any standouts in terms of maybe the coolest gig you played, things that went well, or train wrecks?
Oh man, there's so many. I mean, the Butterfinger years, there's a lot of pretty cool stuff that happened. Some of the gigs we had, the opening stuff, and some outdoor stuff and things like that. That was really, really awesome. But honestly, my favorite gig that I've ever played happened just recently. Like I mentioned,
the basement, yeah,
playing with the kids. That topped it off because it was, me, my son and daughter, and then my best friend in the world. You know, so I mean, it's kind of doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt that all of those are ridiculous musicians.
Oh yeah, I was the weak link by far.
I think I said that to you before the show.
Yes,
maybe
you
between
did.
sets, but
you did. Yeah, it was not lost on me at all. Yeah.
Yeah. You might have finished the sentence when I started it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's if you ever, if you're looking for advice, be the weak, if you can be the weakest link, it's the best place to be because if you bring it, it's going to be amazing. So
my brother always used to say if he was in a group project in school, he could look at everybody, and if he didn't find the weak link or the dumb person, it's like, I got bad news for you.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I don't see a lot of weak links around me. That's upsetting.
Yeah.
Cool. Any crazy train wrecks?
Oh, too many to mention. I mean, there's been so many. Like one comes to mind, and if our good friend Tyler Lewis is watching this or ever does, he'll know what I'm talking about. The Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Regina back in, I don't even know what year it was, like 08 maybe.
Yeah.
We started playing Lost Highway by Bon Jovi, and yeah, lost was a very apt word, because it was an absolute train wreck. Yeah.
Good.
And in front of people.
Yeah.
Which is always
Those are
best.
fun. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Honestly, that one sticks out as like probably like the most egregious.
It's not often you have to like, okay, we need to stop this song and start again.
And
but
that's
once in a
pretty
while,
much what it was.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the group of guys that played in that band were all great.
Yeah.
It was just one of those like
wires got crossed.
And big stage, couldn't see each other, couldn't hear very well. It was just a comedy of errors.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Tyler, we did a show. It was in a school somewhere.
Oh, I was
where
in
it was.
Govan.
Was it? Yeah.
I think.
Remember, it was Easter because I was throwing mini eggs up to the ceiling and catching them. But then did they fall down? Like an ambulance had to come? Like some...
Oh,
I remember partway through the set, like just standing there, like, "Hey, everybody's got it. Like, stuff's like, yeah,
yes."
no problem."
But somebody, like,
I think they might have fell, or maybe it could have been
like
something
their
completely
ankle,
separate.
some broken ankle or something. Yeah. That was
like an ambulance came to the show.
Yeah, like they literally, we kept playing for a bit, and then they're like, "Yeah, no, shut it down." Go.
We got a problem
Because the stage was raised, and they fell like in front of the stage, so we couldn't actually see what was going on. I mean, people fall all the time, as you're aware, and as you've done.
So I've heard. Yeah, I don't know.
Even when you're playing.
Yeah.
And but that's one of the very few times that an ambulance has actually had to come to a gig I played.
At least it's few. That's good. Yeah. Cool. I think, again, playing the number of gigs you have, any like musician cliches that you're just used to seeing now, or that you fall under?
Oh, Jesus, I don't know. Honestly, the biggest thing for like musicians as a rule are a pretty funny bunch of people.
Sure.
Like, at least the ones that I've been around, and it's pretty much universal. Like, the sense of humor is, a bit bent, but it's, nobody takes themselves real seriously, and it's pretty fun times. Usually, if somebody takes himself really seriously, they're probably not that experienced. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's something that I've sort of noticed in my days. It's like, if you have to go around telling people how good you are, chances are you probably aren't.
Yeah, it's quite possible. Yeah. Or the level of shit talk on shows with you and any of that group, like,
oh man,
actually I think it was at Tyler's house, like we were, it might have been the night after a gig, like, having a couple of whiskeys, whatever, and I looked at Damon and I was like, when we get together with this group, you have to be so fucking sharp.
Oh man,
like, if you say something, you're gonna get bit forever.
Your head has to be on a swivel. Like, you can't just start talking indiscriminately, because you will absolutely get roasted every
People won't
second.
Forget mistakes.
Nope. And they will point them out many times.
Quite often. Yeah.
It's it's kind of a badge of honor in that group. It's if you can come out on top anywhere there, you're doing pretty good, because it's a pretty sharp group of guys. Yeah.
And it's, again, as I've talked with everybody, it's doing a road trip down to Cornack or anywhere near where Tyler lives. If we're in a car for 5 hours, I don't care how good you are on the drums or whatever. If it's not a good hang for 5 hours, nobody's happy.
No, and that's, I mean, really, that's what it boils down to, is you got to be around people that you enjoy being around. Mm-hmm. Like, it just, the joy of playing and those sorts of moments where you have those real, like, moments on stage, you can't have those with somebody you don't like. There's got to be an openness, there's got to be a vulnerability of, like, whatever, there's got to be a closeness, because you just can't get to that, like, magic without there being some level of some connection, comfort, like, exactly. So
I think it was with you we decided that Dumb and Dumber was the litmus test.
That's right, that's one of the many that I have. But if somebody doesn't like that movie, probably we're not going to get along.
I don't
so
like
good.
Our odds. Yeah.
And it's funny because that group, like you were talking about, I mean, there's a handful of movies that are pretty much quoted by the minute.
And The Simpsons.
Simpsons, that one, Family Guy. Like, there's a bunch of
stupid humor, but with an edge of...
It's clever but dumb, right?
Yeah. That's the best kind.
Exactly.
Cool. Do you have a favorite time in your music career?
Ooh, good question. They've all sort of been, in moments, sort of, or each era, if you will, has had its moments of like, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I find, honestly, like the older I get, the better musician that I become, more so because of just knowing more about what's going on and, listening better and locking in with people in a different way and, paying attention to what's going on a little bit better than when you're younger. You tend to be a little bit more, inwardly
you're playing the
focused.
notes, you're not playing the song.
Yeah, exactly. So, as far as favorite times, I mean, there's just been so many awesome moments. It's hard to kind of place them in order, but
that's a hell of a problem to have.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, it's all due to the people that I've had in the different groups I've been in. Like I've been fortunate to play with just a lot of really good guys. And so both, musically and just
personally,
guys. Yeah.
As you've said, if it's not personally good musically, it's not going to be
100%.
great.
It can only be so good.
Do you want to name any of the bands you were in? I'm sure anybody in and around town would have heard of lots of them.
Yeah. I mean, the very first one was Young Offenders. Mm-hmm. After that, it was a band called Storm in the Castle. There's probably not too many people that remember that one. That was the precursor to a band called Wood that I was in for quite a few years.
WOO or WOUL?
WOO, yes. And then that immediately preceded, as the same group, just different singer, is what Butterfinger became. And then I was with them for off and on for till even now, probably, I guess.
Once a year gig,
Hung Jury was another one that I was part of. Lisa Moen, Tyler Lewis, and I filled in with everybody.
A couple,
pretty much. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Perfect.
Was there ever a time where music was the 9 to 5? Was it ever the moneymaker?
Yeah. Moneymaker.
Fair.
I don't know.
The thing that you would like it to put food on the table.
Yeah, it was definitely the thing that took precedence, over whatever menial job I had at the time. But it just was one of those things where, like, right in the heart of the Butterfinger stuff when it started taking off, like, I had a really young family at the time. And so it was, there's some pretty tight moments in there. And then, at the end of the day, it ended up me leaving just because it just wasn't feasible for me to do it. And so, and I went back and forth a few times and, filled in where they needed and whatever. But yeah, it was never as 9 to 5 as I'd wanted it to be, but that's okay too.
Yeah. Sometimes a moment of sense of stability is never a bad.
Well, if it was just me, like, I can survive in anything, but when you got little kids,
they like to eat almost every day.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Cool. What is music to you now? Very broad question, I know.
It's still like it's an outlet. It's my social circle. Right. Like, really, pretty much everybody that I'm close friends with, I would say 90% of them are music related. Yeah. So, when I'm, whether it be with, Lisa or, doing a fill in, whatever, it's usually with guys that I know and like. And so it's, it's a social thing for me.
Cool. Yeah. I know in the set breaks of those shows, every show we always go like, hey, we should do this where we're not playing music sometime, like just go to somebody's house. And
it's true.
It never seems to happen.
No,
or I never get the invite. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it never ever seems to happen. No, I mean, honestly, you're right. Like, it's kind of a means to an end in a way. Like, the parts about playing that I remember are not the music parts for the most part, right? It's not like, oh, remember when we played that song for the 100th time? Like, no. But do you remember hanging out and, talking shit to each other? Yeah. Do you remember that?
Quite so.
That thing, oh, remember when the ambulance came? Like, things like that. Like, you remember the stuff that surrounds it. And so that's due, again, to the people that you're with, not. The music is, while it's awesome and I love playing and all that stuff, it's kind of, like I said, means to an end. It's a secondary thing that we just all happen to share. And so
cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any? What is your favorite music or you're listening to?
Boy, I don't know if I have a
Sure.
genre that I just listen to. Most of my, honestly, most of the songs I listen to are ones that I'm learning.
Yeah.
It's, whether
reps in,
it's new bands, whether it's fill-ins or
Right.
reviewing for something I haven't played in a while, whatever. But I honestly, I love it when my kids are home because they always introduce me to a ton of new stuff, which is a really positive for me because
Sure.
you get stuck in a bit of a rut and you kind of
Mm-hmm.
listen to the same shit over and over and over, and it's nice to get some things
new,
thrown in
yeah.
there where you're like, ooh, cool. Like,
Yeah. Especially your kids with such a probably more broad musical taste than you.
it's very unique and pretty, and it's always really good because I know like their
Sure.
sensibilities are pretty good too. So I always know that it's going to be a good.
They don't bring you a lot of Cardi B, I assume.
Not so much, no.
That's what I was going to show you later, so I won't.
Oh, well.
Yeah, sorry.
Just keep your Cardi B to yourself.
In terms of musicians, is there a kind of a two-part question, a band or musician that you'd like to sit in with or be a fly on the wall for a studio session?
The bands and musicians that I'd like to sit in with probably would never allow me on the stage.
Doesn't matter. We're hypothetical.
For me, like bucket lists to go see, and I mean, whatever, it would.
Dead or alive?
Yeah.
Do what you need to do?
They're
Not Bon Jovi.
alive.
Okay.
Is Harry Connick Jr. I would love to go see him.
Cool.
I've been a fan of his like since I was, whatever, early 20s,
Nice.
late teens, whatever.
Still
But his bands are
Go ahead, yeah.
stupid
Yeah.
good.
We still always, again, probably once a show, it comes up the thing where he's playing and the crowd's clapping on 1 and 3, and he does 1 bar of 5.
Yeah,
and all the band loses their mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's definitely one.
Cool.
Honestly, if I could, it sounds kind of corny, but if I could go back and see somebody like in their prime, when I'd love to go see my dad play in his prime because I saw him play, but not till he was in his 40s, 50s kind of thing to what I remember.
Right.
And so you hear all the stories and things about people talk about what he was to them, and so I would just like to go back and see what that was. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. That's a cool. That's got to be a cool sentence for somebody to say. Like, you should have fucking seen. Like,
well, it is. It's like I said at the start. Like, he cast a pretty broad shadow, and it had its its positives, but it also is a lot to live up to.
Sure. Yeah.
Like coming up when I was like early 20s and stuff, and I'd run into the guys who were kind of the cats on the scene, and they were all the guys who used to play with them, and so they had an expectation that it was going to be whatever that was, and our styles, while similar, we're not, like I wasn't the same kind of player as him, so it was fine because I wasn't trying to be that though either, right? Like, so yeah, it is cool, and it is, I see it as a real positive and as like a,
like a benchmark to
absolutely
shoot for. Like,
and then when when some of those same people, pay me the compliment of, saying, oh, that's just like him, or this, like that it means a little bit more coming from some of those guys because I know that they held him in pretty high esteem. Right. So
cool.
Yeah.
And now your kids have cast a shadow, so you're screwed again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't escape it.
Yep. That's right.
But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, I don't mind being the weak link in the family band. Not at all. Yeah. No, I count myself pretty fortunate to get to watch them do what they do. And I mean, you've been a part a little bit of that scene and whatever, and it's
open invite.
What's that?
I said open invite.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did say, "I'll never let my kids in your basement," which I understand. But
I mean, that's when they were really young. Maybe so they can both take you now.
Maybe I'll come to your house. Yeah, they can definitely take me for sure. Yeah, not even together, just one at a time.
Yeah,
cool. I think that's most of it. Anything we've missed? Anything you'd like to say?
That's a really cool idea. I like the premise and, getting a chance to learn a little something about some of the people around, and like even just other guys that, for me that I know by name or reputation, but don't really know.
Right.
It's kind of interesting to be able to at least listen to some of the stuff that they have to say about their journey too. Right. So
I figure a lot of those, 5-hour drives were talking shit or solving the world's problems were not asking you where you grew up and what you played as a kid.
That's
so,
right.
Like,
No, not generally. No.
Yeah.
They're a little bit, the ratings on those ones are a little
Sure. Yeah.
higher in the alphabet. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Do you remember your first concert and the best concert you've ever seen?
My first concert was Platinum Blonde
Ooh.
at old TCU now, Centennial Auditorium then.
Cool.
I think I was 11 maybe, something like that. And the best concert,
Besides the ones that you've seen me play, for sure.
yeah, those are definitely,
Secondary,
I'll
yeah.
definitely leave those out.
Yeah. They don't need to. Yeah.
Honestly, there's a couple of, Paul McCartney was
Oh shit.
pretty
I didn't know you
stellar.
went to that. Cool.
And the Eagles were pretty unbelievable as
Cool.
well. Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, I'd say those are probably the two
favorites.
top ones. Yeah.
Cool. Dig it. All right.
All right.
Well, thanks for coming.
Hey,
This was fun.
it's my pleasure.
This is From the Top. My friend Damon Tupper.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Don't be nervous, Matt. Be terrified.
We've actually. We're gonna have to cut again, Lloyd. You're f***ing around. Would you? He knows if he screws with me enough that I'm gonna offer him a. Would you like? Ooh, the dog has made it back and he's brought a ball.
Wonder what that could
won't
mean.
be distracting at all.
He'll just stand there and breathe.
Oh
growl.
God, yeah, okay, yeah, you're pretty tough. Okay.
It was all like,
That's not how you get him to stop, for sure.
help me. He's got me held hostage. Somebody, please help me.